So this is the second X-Wing that I bought, the Air Hogs remote control X-Wing, and out of the box I could not fly this. The first one I was able to fly fine, but this one it was constantly rolling to the left. No matter how much trim I put on the remote control to turn to the right, it couldn't overcome that. So I balanced it on a toothpick and the red dot is where the center of gravity was, and you see it was to the left, and so that was probably what was causing it to turn to the left. So I figured, well, let me just get a small weight, so this is a small washer, and just move it around and do some flight tests, and this is actually where it flies great now, and the center of gravity moved just, you know, maybe a quarter of an inch over to the right. And so if you're having problems with your X-Wing, you know, nosediving or stalling or turning left or right, just try adding just tape a small weight. This weighs about 1 gram, and that's all you need. The total weight of the whole airframe is like 59 grams, so it's not too much extra weight, but just that extra weight can make a huge difference in how it flies. So let me just go ahead and fly it. It's probably got like a 5 mile/hour breeze, not too much. So you notice I trimmed the back of the engines back quite a bit. That was mainly because I crashed it and one of them broke off. But it actually helps in the flight characteristic because the turns can be a lot sharper, and the right and left is much more responsive. So the weight is reduced, and also the turn rate's improved. And you notice it flies kind of in a nose-up bias most of the time. That's kind of intentional also because you can maintain altitude just with about half throttle. So if you can't fly your X-Wing, it may not be because you're not a good pilot. It could be that the weight is, the center of gravity is just off. They use a lot of different amounts of glue, and even the way the battery has been positioned inside the X-Wing could, you know, be off balance. So instead of breaking the thing apart, just add a small weight and do some flight tests with it until you get a good balance, and this thing is a blast to fly. For comparison, I'll remove this weight. Notice I've got it carefully marked there. Just a few millimeters left or right of that, and it won't fly nearly as well. So I'll hang on to that and show you how it flies without that adjustment. Or rather, how it doesn't fly. I mean, it's easy to see how people could get frustrated with this thing, but a lot of them out of the box just aren't adjusted correctly. And no amount of trim is going to fix that left turn. That's all it's going to do. So, center of gravity, that's the key.